Hi everyone, it's Susan with the Narcissistic Abuse Journey Alliance. I hope you are all doing well, and if you are new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for tuning in, and for those of you who have been loyal followers and subscribers, a big, giant thank you. I appreciate all of you. Today I want to talk about mean and obnoxious things narcissists say. Their mean speak is an amalgam of insults, digs, put-downs, and sour, unresolved issues and projections of their wounded childhood experiences. What a mess! And on top of that, most of the time, we're dealing with the infiltration of their addictions, which include alcohol, porn, sex and being promiscuous, working all the time, gambling, all kinds of toxic behavior, which contributes to their mean speak being even more cutting. Let us remember that narcissists can't be vulnerable, they can't be wrong, can't give a heartfelt apology, and they will rarely open up to you. Their mean speak is narcissistic rage and all about maintaining control, and their control needs are through the roof because being a control freak ensures their safety. That's what they think anyway. Here are some mean speak examples I've heard over the years. You're illiterate. In the not-so-olden days, we wrote letters, cards, and postcards to each other when in a relationship, and in a romantic relationship. We didn't have email, but this can apply to email too. When you don't write back or respond to a narcissist when they think you should, you might be met with this mean speak and insult that you're illiterate. It's almost laughable. I would say in this example, I was already checked out of the relationship and the narcissist could feel me pulling away, so he lashed out at me by saying this. A narcissist can feel it when you withdraw your energy, and they don't like it because once again, they don't have the control. If you were different, I would talk about the future. Oh, this is a primo one. As a good empath, I'm sure over the years you were high on hopium and held on to the rope way too long with the narcissist. And when you mustered up the courage to try and talk to the narc about commitment, you might have been slapped with this mean speak. If you were different. It's always your fault, right? You're the defective one. All the issues in the relationship stem from your inability to conform to the narcissist's control tactics. It's never the narcissist's fault. Never, right? They have no insight into their own behavior. You never want to improve yourself. Well, you might be met with this mean speak when you're skiing with the narcissist and you refuse to go down the black diamond, which is what he wants you to do. And you prefer to go down the blue slope because you're not comfortable navigating big moguls and you know what your skill level is. And you want to enjoy yourself and not break your neck in the process. This particular narcissist fancied himself quite the athlete, and everything was wide world of sports. The two slopes intersected towards the bottom, and I suggested he go down the black and I'll go down the blue, and we'll meet in the middle. Everything had to be a competition. Well, he didn't like that, so he had to say something mean to try and make me feel bad about myself and maintain control, of course. But we did what I wanted because I insisted and said, no, I'm going down the blue and I'll meet you in the middle. It didn't mean that I would never go down a black diamond. I've skied down plenty of black diamonds since that time. I'm a good skier. But sometimes you just want to enjoy yourself without it being a big competition, for God's sake. When I got to the meeting point, he was nowhere to be found and had gone on without me. And then I had to fish around and find him somewhere in the lodge. When I finally did find him, I quietly cried into my hot chocolate. I cried quietly into my hot chocolate for years with that narc, He hurt my heart on so many levels. But I was young and didn't know the red flags, and I was sensitive. I grew a thicker skin over the years. I even climbed mountains with this particular narcissist, and in the winter too. I remember getting to the top of one and turned to the narc and said, "Now, can we get married?" It's funny looking back on it, but with a narcissist, they just take. Nothing you do will ever be enough. They will just drain you of your energy, time, money, and love. Okay, how about this one? You don't have to keep advocating for yourself. This just means, why don't you be quiet already? Here's another one. My mother-in-law and father-in-law were both highly narcissistic. I would say my mother-in-law was worse than my father-in-law, but they were both high on the spectrum and loved to mean speak. They were quite a pair. I used to call them Bonnie and Clyde, and my husband used to laugh when I'd say that. My mother-in-law was constantly insulting my husband, and me too. One time I made my 15-layer Jell-O mold for a family reunion. I thought it would be festive and colorful, a good thing to make since everyone seems to really like it. When I was unmolding it, my mother-in-law said, "Oh, I wouldn't have gone to so much trouble." And you might think, that's not such a terrible thing to say. But she was always making digs and passive-aggressively trying to bring others down. She rarely said anything nice or pleasant and was just an unhappy person. One time, while I was loading the dishwasher with her in the kitchen, she said, about my youngest brother-in-law, Jonathan. That's not his name. I changed the name to protect the innocent. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but she said, "Jonathan can't say no to me." And I thought to myself, that's a weird thing to say. Except my husband said no to her all the time. He worked on having boundaries with her, which she didn't like. So I guess that was a dig towards me and him. She was proud of the fact that my brother-in-law couldn't say no to her. I would say that brother-in-law didn't have the biggest spine, but she knew she could control him, and she loved it. My mother-in-law was also a Bible thumper and hid behind her religion. One time when we were out to dinner with my in-laws, my mother-in-law was talking about that Mel Gibson movie, The Passion of the Christ, and I guess my father-in-law was sick of her talking about it or something. After a while, he turned to her and said, "Valerie." That's not her real name either. "Valerie," and motioned that she had food on her chin or something. So without any hesitation, she took her napkin and began wiping her face. And there was nothing. No food on her face. So I turned to my father-in-law, since I was sitting next to him, and said, "I don't see anything. She doesn't have anything on her face." And he angrily snapped at me and said, "You shut up." Wow, that was an eye-opener. I really pushed his button on that one. He didn't like being revealed. I knew he was just trying to get her to stop talking. My parents or father or anyone in my family would never speak to me or anyone else for that matter that way. I didn't say anything in that moment. I should have said, "You can't talk to me that way." But I was so taken aback. I just made a mental note and, of course, discussed it with my husband later. My husband was not a narcissist, even though his parents were. My in-laws' narcissistic finale was when my husband Nick died. Nick died after a valiant struggle with a rare neuromuscular disease. He made it to his 50th birthday. When Nick died, my mother-in-law asked me at the funeral home what the plans were, since they were going to Florida on vacation. And I said, "You can't change 1 week of vacation?" And my mother-in-law said, "We can have a service when we get back in 3 weeks." And I said, "No, I'm not doing that. That's not what Nick wants. The show goes on, and she proceeded to have a narcissistic rage, screaming at me, saying that I was crazy, and huffed off. I never spoke to them again. I felt it was so disrespectful and abusive that they did that. I wanted nothing to do with them after that. Okay, last one. You're sitting on the couch with your narcissist, a narcissist that you have been seeing for a while, and you lean in and playfully say, "Can I have a kiss?" And he mean speaks and says, "The man is the hunter." What? That's definitely mean and obnoxious. In other words, back off. I will decide when I give a kiss. I will decide and control my affection towards you and hopefully make you feel undesirable in the process. I can't be vulnerable. I am rigid. I will kiss you on my terms. I am not spontaneous nor playful, and I do not have a sense of humor. Now, ain't that the truth? These are just a bunch of mean speak examples I've heard over the years. I would love to hear some of your examples, or any thoughts you might have about mean and obnoxious things narcissists say. So please, leave a comment below. I hope my videos strike a chord with you. I want us together raising public awareness about narcissism, narcissistic abuse, and toxic relationships, because that is the way we will make the world a better place. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sending you all a big tight hug and lots of love, and I'll be in touch again soon.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day.